This beast is the Denza D9. So this is the company's flagship MPV. Now, we don't normally see these types of vehicles in Europe, but they are starting to make their way from Asia over to Europe because, let's face it, there hasn't been a whole heap of competition when it comes to moving people, especially when you want to move people in luxury. Now, I'll go into a little bit of detail about this. This comes here in China as a plug-in hybrid, but also as a full electric vehicle. And well, it's very much got this in-your-face look. This is the Denza badge, which get used to that because you will start to see that make its way into Europe. And you can see how these LED lights cascade all the way down. It does have a pretty mean look to it, but then when we come back and we look through the rest of the car, then you can sort of see just really this is about maximizing that interior space around the back. I'll show you what the front seat is like in a moment and what's in the rear, but I'll talk about what you have. So this plug-in hybrid version has a 1.5 litre petrol engine, but you can get a fully electric version which uses the Blade battery from BYD. It's around about 103 kilowatt hours. It's a pretty big battery because this will be able to do that sort of long range that people need from a vehicle like this. Around the back, you've got lights that wrap all the way across the back as well. Again, it's a very upright rear, and then you can obviously then open up the electric tailgate. You can see it's absolutely crammed full of stuff at the moment, but that's exactly what this is. All the seats can fold down, so if you don't want to have the 3 rows in use, you can do that. But really, this car, not even about being the driver, it's about being driven in. So let's have a look at what that bit is like. Now, of course, you want to be sitting in the back, right? Because this is the business end of the D9. And after all, this is very much a business class experience. So I've got a little grab handle here and I can just pop in and sit here. It's very, very comfortable. But of course, there is also then all of this space in here. I have a TV screen here in front of me so I can watch everything that's going on. And I also can control this seat at the touch of a button. So if I want to, let's say, recline, one touch of a button, the seat in front of me will drive forward and I can recline in real comfort back here. This is such a plush way to travel. It would nearly make you not want to take the plane or the train. Definitely, I could see myself relaxing in here. Here up front in the D9, you've got all the creature comforts you'd expect in a modern car. You've got a huge touchscreen display. You can have all your nav, plan all your journeys, and have a bit of entertainment when you're plugged in and charging. You've got a full digital display in front of you here. You've got a haptic feedback on the steering wheel, so you've no physical buttons. It's all done on the screen here. Same with all the center panel here. You've got this kind of crystal effect gear selector as well, which is quite nice, and a 50-watt wireless charging pad as well. You've also got cup holders. You've got more space in there, so you've all the usual odds and ends you'd want to have in here is all available, and there's lots, most importantly, a very comfortable driver's seat. I really feel like I should be actually sitting in the back seat rather than the front seat of this car, because after all, this is a car that you want to be chauffeur driven around in. Now, what is quite surprising, first of all, is that although this is a pretty huge vehicle, it's actually got a really good turning circle, very easy to do, and you've got actually fantastic camera system in here as well. So it shows you overview, top-down view, the whole lot, so you can see everything. Now, this is the all-wheel drive electric version, so if you do need to get your passengers or your clients to an airport in a hurry, well, it does have plenty of shift and plenty of pickup. It's just this is a proper land yacht in every sense of the term. I mean, it's just enormous, but really it's just so plush. We're used to kind of the usual MPVs being big, obviously van derived from commercial vehicles, and a lot of the time they have they'll have a suspension setup that very much reflects that. They're not always all that comfortable, but this thing is just super plush, very clearly designed for maximizing the comfort for those in the back. And even the handles, like, okay, just gone down over a bit of a ridge, over a bit of a ramp there, you hardly notice it in this thing. It just, just soaks it all up quite nicely. So really, I mean, there's a lot to like about this thing. It is absolutely a guilty pleasure of mine. I mean, everybody should love a van. I love a van. It's kind of not fair on the D9 to call this a van. It doesn't feel anything like a van. This is real proper MPV luxury, and we've seen other models re-enter this market now. Already in parts of Asia, it's obviously hugely popular already. You've got the Toyota Alphard. Lexus has more recently introduced their version of this, the LM, into Europe. Admittedly, we don't get it in Ireland, but it is in other parts of Europe. So clearly there is a growing demand for this kind of thing. It's been ruled, this segment has been ruled so far by things like the Mercedes Vito, the V-Class, and the Mercedes Caravelle, sorry, the Volkswagen Caravelle. But now this is a real alternative. When I arrived in China, I did actually travel in the back seat of this from the airport to the hotel. And I've got to say, it was fabulously comfortable. Exactly what you want to be sitting into coming off a 12-hour flight. But really, this is absolutely the type of vehicle that business owners, business users might want to be sort of transported around in, other than the traditional sort of saloon car. And during my trip in the back seat, it did a fabulous job of soaking up all the surface imperfections like expansion joints and all the things that normally in other cars like those V-Classes and things like that can really send a proper shudder through the whole car. You didn't get it in this. And obviously the added benefit of being able to drive using electric power just adds to that sense of kind of refinement and quietness that's in here. Even though for the driver, these seats are super comfortable, and exactly is what you're going to want when you're probably one of these drivers that you could be spending your whole working day in the driving seat. When Denza does officially arrive in Europe towards the end of 2024, it remains unclear as yet whether the D9 will make it all the way over from China, but I think it could be a perfect offering for that company to sort of put on sale in Europe. Obviously there's always already the N7 model, which is more than likely going to go on sale, but this could be just something a little bit different. It's only a brief, short first drive in the Denza D9, but already it's kind of burrowed away into my heart. This is the sort of car that as I said, I absolutely have a guilty pleasure for.